Okay, so good morning again on our next lectures on integrated management system. We are after the first introduction lecture, and you already know when you can find the webinars after each classes in lectures, so you can visit YouTube channel Prof Webinar, and all webinars are available for you, but they are non-public, so you have to just use the link which I always give you after the classes. So be careful to copy the link, because it is the only way how you can see the webinars. Okay, so we already spoke a little bit about management, about the overall information about the management, organization, and system approach to the organization. So today we will go through the next steps of our topic, which is the integration of the systems of the management system. But starting as conclusion from previous lecture, we'll start from short introduction and short definition of management system. Wait a moment. So management system, you already know what is it, how is it, how it is so important when we are talking about the business success. Everything is about how to manage everything you've got in your organization, including all resources, including human resources, to reach the purpose and the goal of the organization, of the business. So management system is the system to establish policy and objectives to achieve those objectives. So everything which is necessary to enable us to reach our goals of our business, it is what we should name the management system, and how we will work with those management system, which shows us the efficiency of our organization. So what are the 6 common elements of the management system according to the ISO guide, and based on the ISO standard for the quality management system, which is probably one of the fundamental subsystems of the management system, which first has to be integrated with the overall management system. So what are those 6 elements? The first is policy. Policy of the organization, policy of the business, which shows main rules and main behaviors and rules which we want to provide in our business. Second one is planning. The planning is extremely important element of the management system, because it is first scratch of way of process of reach our goals. And of course it depends if we are talking about short-term or long-term plans, but it shows what are our expectations from our management system, from our business, we can say. The third one is implementation and operation. So if we already know what to do and how to do, the most important thing is to implement our ideas and to make them operate in our system, because not each idea is it so easily to be implemented in the business organization. And even if it is implemented, it doesn't mean that it will be operating well. So it's up to experience, knowledge, and skills. What are the main methodology for implementation of our plans, but also how to check if it will be operating well, and how we can conduct our operations of our processes in our business. The next element is performance assessment. We need to know how our organization is working, how our management system is working. If we are on a way to success our business, or we are on a way to not success of our business. Then we can conduct some changes, then we can assume the risk and opportunities and make our business stronger. Yes, it is what we need. The most common use performance assessment for the organization, for the management system, are KPI, which is key performance indexes, and KPI are overall name of the estimators, which enables to show the efficiency of our processes in our organization. But of course, the KPI indexes are the overall name of the estimator of effectiveness of the business, but you have to know that it is not so easy to define the KPI for every single business, because sometimes it is hard to find some measures which can be used for the KPI, because we shouldn't use the non-value, non-quantifying methods to calculate the KPI. We shouldn't ask the person, do you think that our corporation, our company works well? No, we should find some quantification without any discussion, value which can be measured, which can be checked, which can be controlled, and which can be compared with our requirements. So it is probably one of the most difficult part when we are talking about the performance assessment, to set proper KPI. Next element is improvement. Our company has to be constantly improved, and it is probably the most of the important fundamentals of the quality management system. As you can see, those 6 common elements come straight away from the quality management standard. That is how the constant improvement is so important. But even if we will not talk about the quality management system as the one of the most fundamental subsystem of the management system, we have to know that improvement, constant improvement, is, we can say, the nature of the business. It has to be like this. Yes. Why? There are a few reasons. The first reason is that our environment is changing. Yes, our customers are changed sometimes. Our requirements of our customers are changing. That is how we should always go follow with the all the changes in the environment or in the customers, and we should check if we need to improve our system to deliver required goods or required standards. Yes. Also, the environment, when the environment of our business is changing, we have to also check if our current management system is good to work with the environment, if we are still under control on the influence of the environment. If not, we have to improve it. But the next thing, which also has to be taken into consideration, is that our resources is changing. Yes, our skill set of our employees is changing. The equipment can be changed. Yes, we've got new technologies, we've got new possibilities. So everything has to be also checked, and if it is possible, we should consider the constant improvement. Nothing is constant when we are talking about the business. That is how improvement has to be also one of the constant thing when we are talking about the business is just improvement. Yes, improvement should be constant. Nothing else is constant. Okay, and last element is management review. So we should conduct every single period of time, and it's up to us how we will set the time, the review of our management, because when the organization is changing, when the human resources is changing, when everything else is changing, we should also check if our management system is still accurate to the current situation. Yes, I said that we should improve our system, and also one of the most important factor and reason to improve our system should be results of our management review. Yes. So we should do it, because we shouldn't think that once set management system will be always good. No, we should check it if even change. And if even the resources is not changed, and human resources are exactly the same, and even if environmental is not changing and customer requirements is not changing, you should remember that every single year when the experience and work period of our employees is growing up, also the behavior and working um, habits of our employers is changing, so we should control it. Okay, it is good idea to do it, especially when we are talking about the production and manufacturing industry, when the employees are working mostly on the same operations. So it's very easily to become and starting feel phenomena which calls in English, let me find the word. It's monotyping. Yes, we can say that we are still thinking about the same, and it's not good idea to not change it. So even if everything is constant, we should think if our management system is still good, shouldn't we change it? Okay, there are no national or international standards for integrated management system. So this is what I would like to say at the beginning of our classes, because I will give you some, I shouldn't say it's standard, but I will give you some tips. What is the main idea of the integrated management system? And on today's classes, you will see what are the most common use subsystem to be integrated in the management system, but it is not the standard. Some days you will hear that that the integrated management system has to consist at least from three different subsystems, including quality management system, environmental system, and health control system. But it's not right. Yes, when we'll check the ISO standard, we will probably read a similar requirements for the integrated management system, but it's up to you, and it's not a standard and it's not obligatory. That is how you should understand that there are no national or international standards for integrated system. It is always decision of the corporation, of the company, what has to be integrated to increase efficiency of our management system, and it's up to the decision of the company. Of course, we can follow with the guides of the ISO standards and integrate at least three subsystems, but it's always decision of the CEO of the company. Okay, so what does a system consist of? We are talking, of course, about management system. So the controlling factors through which the business process is realized. So it is important thing, and it will be the also task for today's laboratory and workshops to understand that the management structure, it is just a way to conduct the processes inside our business. That is how when we are talking about the system, it has to control all factors through which the business processes is realized. So what do we have remember? First, a system is a collection of subsystems. It is what we already said on our previous lecture, that we've got different elements, subsystems of our system, management system, and we have to analyze all together, all as the total system, and to check all relation between all subsystems and elements of the system. Subsystems is collection of processes. So if we will go deeper into the structure of our company, every single element or subsystems has to be analyzed as the collection of the processes. The next, a process is a collection of tasks. So we are going another level deeper into the definition of the system. So if we are go into the process level of the system, we have to also identify all task operations in our process. An activity is a smallest parcel of work to be carried out by a person or group of the people. So if we will go to the deepest level of the processes. So we've got task, we've got operations, and the last level of the detailed description of the system is the single activity. As the single activity, you should understood the smallest parcel of work which can be carried by one person or selected group of the people. In the most common use definition, we should use the carried out by a single person because it shows clearly what should be the level of the detailed description of the system. Of course, if we've got huge organization, yes, a huge system, probably will not go so deep into the analysis of the processes for the single operation and single activity. But if you want to improve and check the source of defects and problems in your processes, you should go into the level of the activity, single activity. A procedure is just a way to doing things, so it is also important, especially when we are talking about the quality management system, because it is mostly based on the procedure. So you have to know that procedure is not the guarantee that you will deliver the perfect results of the process. It is just description of the way how to do it. Yes. So follow with the procedure. We should have the instructions of our system. Okay, so you already know what is the management system. You already know what is the elements of the management system, and if you will go deeper, you are going to subsystems, processes, tasks, and activities. So right now we are ready to consider integration of the management system. So integrated management system means that we should work with the integration, yes, and by the integration means combine putting all the internal management practices into one system, but not as separate components. So integration is to combine the elements of the system or subsystem and not consider them as the separate components. So it is the main function of the integration, and it's up to level of the integration with the decision. For these systems to be an internal part of the company's management system, there have to be linkage so that the boundaries between processes are seamless. So another reason to consider what we should integrate it in our management system is boundaries, because between few subsystems, between different processes, we can easily define the boundaries, because boundaries probably is the first thing which will separate the processes and subsystem with each other. And most often the source of the problems and defects in our process is on the level of the boundaries or limitation. That is how if we are talking about the integration, we should analyze if after integration we are minimize the boundaries between the processes. An integrated management system is the management system which integrates all common components of a business into one coherent system so as to enable the achievement of its purpose and mission. So it's another important properties of the management system, that we should integrate all components of the business into one coherent system, which is, we can say, the overall general system, management system of our company. But we have to remember about each goals, each purpose, each missions of each subsystem, because we are not trying to cover one goal with another goal, or to take a decision that the goal of this subsystem is less important than the goal from the other subsystem. We have to try to deliver all goals and to reach all purpose according to mission of our business. So the sources are, as you can see, So everything about, we can say everything is about the integration. Yes. So first, if you will see the chart over here, we've got different elements of our management systems. Yes. If we'll combine them according to one main goal, we can say that we've got subsystems. Yes, these are the subsystems. These are the single elements of the systems. And when you will trying to integrate all together, it means that the main goal and the main purpose of our business have to be supported by all subsystems. So movement of all subsystem operations of all subsystem has to support the operation of overall goals of the system. So if some of the subsystem is not working integrated with our business, by not integrated I mean that, for example, the direction of this wheel will be opposite, or the speed will be not quite good to correspond with the overall main important goal of our organization. It means that our integrated management system will not operate well. So it is not just to find what subsystem can support our main management system, but it is also how to cooperate, yes, during the integration. So how to set the proper goals to support the main goal, how to set the operating time, for example, in a proper way, because each single subsystem has got different, we can say, operation time. Yes, so that is how we have to integrate everything. And it shows, even if you will look at this chart here, it shows that it is very difficult task. And if we had few more than 5 subsystems which has to be integrated, the overall goal and overall task started to be extremely difficult. That is how the integrated management system is the high advanced management system, and it has to be designed very careful and implemented also very careful, because if we are adding next subsystems to be integrated, it doesn't always mean that we will receive better results. Yes, sometimes the more mean the less. Yes, sometimes you have to choose smartly and to have to think at least twice before you will decide about the implementation of the next subsystem to be integrated in your management system. Okay, so why should management system be integrated? I already explained you why it is so important. So let me go through. So be consistent within the organization. It is what I already mentioned, and it is not just about the main goal, main business of the organization, but it is also about the consistent with the policy of the business or the organization, with the habits in the organization, and this is first thing which has to be done. Second, improve internal and external communication. So if we are looking for all communication inside and outside of our system, the integrated management system should help us with the communication. So next, avoid duplication and gain cost savings. Yes, it is true, because very often if we've got few subsystems implemented in our company, including, for example, quality management system, environmental protection system, logistics system, sometimes the costs are duplicates. Yes, because we have to follow with the procedure according to one system and second system, and it takes a time. Sometimes it even takes a money. So it's not smart to do. So when I'm talking about the integration, I will also check for the processes and procedures which are similar in different systems. Then I can combine them together, and then I will reduce the cost, because I will go with the cost just once, not few times. It is very important things, and probably this phenomena of the integration, it's one of the most important to confirm our CEO to started to think about the implementation of integrated management system. Okay, reduce risk. Yes, risk is a factor which has to be also always controlled, and risk is the most important factor, because if you are not assessing the risk in your business, even if your organization is good, even if your processes are well defined, if you will not check the risk, and if you will not see the risk coming on, the effects of the risk can be crushing, especially when we are talking about the current situation, COVID situation. Probably nobody analyze the risk before it's happened. Maybe, yes, maybe when it was started in the December of 2020 in China, maybe some companies started to think before our governments, and started to prepare to the pandemic situation in January or February 2020, I'm sorry, and it was December 2019, of course. So maybe, but it was few companies. So it is the example that we weren't ready to work with the business with this risk, and the results and effects of the pandemic lockdown we can feel just right now. It wasn't yes, every one of us can feel the results of the pandemic during the lockdown, yes, because you should stay at home, you shouldn't go, but the business was, we can say, going just like before, without restaurant and cinemas and things like this, yes. But if you will go about the overall global business, global industry, the results are right now visible, yes. So we've got problem with a lot of products. The manufacturing has huge problems with suppliers. So right now we can see how huge crisis was during the pandemic, and how huge problems we'll have in the next few months or even years. So it is how it is the results that we didn't check the risk. So the risk is always extremely important. And when we are talking about the integrated management system, we should think also about reducing the risk. So we can assume that if we'll integrate few systems inside our management system, we will also reduce the risk. But please remember that it always needs to be analyze at least twice before integration, because not always integration means that will reduce the risk. Not always. Sometimes will increase even the risk. Okay, next is expose conflicting objectives. So everything which is conflicting in our business, we should expose from during the integrated management system. Next is identified and rationalize conflicting responsibilities and relationships. It is probably always the same problem when we are talking about all conflicts in our business, that it is up to responsibility and relationship between those conflicts. So if we are talking about integration, responsibilities are always integrated, and it is probably easier to understand who is responsible for each process, not so easy if we've got few subsystems. So that is how also it should be helpful for us in this aspect. Gain a structured balance of authority, power. Focus organization onto business goal, yes, not just on the goals of the subsystems, but if we are talking about integrated management system, we have to also always consider the main goals of our business. That is how during the integration we are starting not to think about the sub goals of subsystem, but after integration we can think about the main goals of our business. Create a formalization of informal system. It is also important. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes subsystems are different communication system, the different informations flow in system. So after integration we are better on a better side with the information flow system. It is more integrated. Harmonize and optimize practice. It is what we should achieve after integration. Identify and facilitate staff training and development. It is also important because then we will not have a specialist in one single task, but we will work with the more holistic training program for our staff. So, like I said, there is no standard. There are no standard for the integration. But if we should see some good practice, we should also think about those puzzle of the integration when we are talking about the management system. So it should be the quality, the environment, the safety, and the health, because everything working together will extremely forced on efficiency of our management in our component system. So what are the benefits of the integrated management system approach? So integrated management system approach provides a framework for a holistic management system that can embrace all the processes and elements that need to be controlled by the organization. So it's about overall framework and holistic management system. So these are the example of the IMS approach, and if we will consider as the benefits of the integrated management system, the value creation during our operation of our system. It is not just added value. We are talking about the value creation. So we should know that when we consider the value creation, all factors or subsystems of our organization of our system has extremely important factor, yes, starting from finance, quality, human resources, procurement, health and safety, and environment. Yes, all those subsystems can be used if it will be used efficiently to create the value in our business. And you exactly know how important is value of our services of product for the customers. So which management system standards can be integrated? I already mentioned that there are no standard for the integrated management system, but there are the standards of the management systems, yes, not integrated but management system. So if we'll understand the standard of the management system, we can start to be prepared to think what types of the management system can be integrated. So typically we are talking about those management systems to be considered as the integrated management system. So first is already mentioned a few times during today's lectures, quality management systems. It is fundamental management system in, we can say right now all, but I shouldn't say of course all, but we can say that all production manufacturing industry has to, maybe not has to, but it is good if they've got the ISO standard 9000 with this quality management system. So we can say that it would be the first subsystem who should be integrated with our management system. And when we are talking about the certification, ISO certification about the quality management system, it means that we've got certification that in our management system, in our company, we had implemented the quality management system. So it is the first level of the integration. The second management system which can be integrated is ISO 14000, which is on environmental management. The next one is OHSAS 18000, which is occupational health safety. And based on those three subsystems, which is quality, environmental, and health and safety system, we should mostly we started to consider that if you've got those three subsystems implemented in your organization, you can be named that you've got the integrated management system. So these are the three fundamentals subsystems management system which should be implemented and integrated in your system to name yourself as integrated management system. But there are few others also. For example, the ISO 27000, which is information security. Especially right now, the information security started to be extremely important, and we should also consider this system to be integrated with our system. When we are talking about the software industry, the information security system, or any teleinformatics industry, information security system probably would be the first subsystem to be integrated with our system. Another example is food safety. If we are talking about the food industry, another example is IT service management, which is also, if we are talking about IT business, it would be probably first or second integrated management system. Okay, so what is the integration? Because I already mentioned a few times what are the subsystems, what are the benefits of the integration, but what is the integration when we are talking about the integrated management system? I think that maybe all of you exactly know what the integration means, but if you will go into the integrated management system, it's not so easy to find it out. So we've got the environmental factors, yes, for example, and we are checking how it's work with our core business, yes. Another subsystem is our health and safety system, and we are trying to find correspond with our core business, core management system. And we've got, for example, the quality management system, and we are looking for the integration with our core management system. And if we are considering those three subsystems, environmental, health and safety, and quality, as separate subsystem, it is integrated, but just with the management system. It is not integrated on the horizontal level, yes. So environmental, health and safety, and quality management system are not integrated together. They are just integrated with the core. So we can say that if we did it, we are on the good way to integrate all system together, because they are all integrated with the core management system. So it is the first level of the integration. But it's not enough. If we are talking about the fully integrated system, we have to consider all those factors together, as it is presented here. So we've got core management system integrated with all three subsystems, and we are integration between those systems. And it is probably the most difficult task during the integrated management system implementation, because there are many standards which guide us how to integrate our quality management system with our management system, our health and safety system, and our environmental system. We've got accreditation, we've got certification. So every single step of the implementation is well defined, yes. But when we are talking about combination of all those systems and integration between those systems, is starting to be difficult task. But it is the only way when we can say that we've got integrated management system. Not this case, but this case. Okay, so what is integrated management system? As you can see, it is one of the idea of just an example of the industry when we can consider the integrated management system, focus on some extra subsystems which are typically for one branch of the business. So we've got the fundamental of quality of integrated management system, which is quality, environment, and health and safety. Yes, but also according to the requirements of our business sector, we should have the business continuity, which is ISO 2020 standard, and information security standard. So we need those two subsystems to be integrated also. And after the integration of those systems, we have to follow through the testing and calibration laboratory and medical devices. So these are the scope of the accreditation, yes, here, and these are the scope of the certification. And then if we'll go through these three steps of the implementation and integration, we can consider our system to be integrated. So we can say that advanced integrated management system can consider from such elements, but it is not the standard, it is just good practice. So quality management system, environmental management system, safety management system, energy management system, which right now is probably one of the, we can say, the fresh butter right now. We've got the food safety management system. We've got the information security management system, also very important right now. And we have to compliance management system all together. So it means that if we are talking about the integrated management system, it is the sum. It is not, we shouldn't say that it is the sum, it is the combine of all those elements, which is quality management system, environmental management system, safety, energy management system, food safety, and information security. And of course we can combine more management system if it is needed for us, if our business is required for this. So it's up to the segment of the business, but please be careful with the number of the subsystem to be integrated, because if we will finish off our three fundamental integrated management system elements, which is quality, which is safety, and which is the and environmental management system, those first three, we've got a lot of good practice and we know how to do it. Every next added subsystem, it is a difficult task to do, but it is integrated management system. So we can go follow with this integration with the next elements, but be careful. Okay, so what can include the integrated management system? So I already mentioned that probably the first fundamental subsystem which should be implemented when we are talking about the integrated management system is the quality management system. Is a set of policies, process, and producers required for planning and executing production development service in the core business area of an organization. It is required by the ISO standard as example of the quality management system and how we should implement the system. So these are the standards which can be used. Of course, the ISO 9000. Of course, the aerospace and defense, it is the branch standard. And for example, for the medical devices, it is ISO 13000. We will talk about the quality management system much more in our next lecture. For automotive, for example, is IATF standards. The next management system is the environmental management system. It is it determines and continuously improve an organization environment position and performance. So it started to be a very important standard when we are considering the social responsibility of the business, especially when we are talking about the environmental impact. So what is the standard? The standard is ISO 14000 environmental management system. So there are all requirements and good practice for the environmental management system. Next is safety management system. which determines and continuously improves an organization's health and safety position and performance. It follows on outline and it's managed like any other factor faced of a business, such as within marketing or engineering function. So when we are talking about safety management system, we are talking about the our employees. Yes, so it is inside factor of our success of our business, because as you already know, the employees, the resources, the human resources of our business is one of the most important factor of the success of our business. So the standard is ISO 14000 and ISO 18000, of course, also. Okay, so what are the next examples of integrated management system, of the systems to be integrated? It is energy management system, which determines and continuously improves an organization energy usage and impact. It is considered also as the environmental standard when we are talking about the social responsibility of the business, but we are focused on the energy usage and impact of the energy usage in our business. So starting from last few years, we can say that its systems has to be considered as the important management system for the production company, because it shows that we are thinking about the clear energy, about the low energy consumption in our product and in our production processes. So this is the standard ISO 50000 energy management system. Next one is food safety management system, which confirms and incorporates in the food industry, of course, follow certain procedures and guidelines to ensure the products for customer safety. So if someone is delivering the food or delivering the product to the food industry, it is the standard which has to be, we can say, which has to be implemented to guarantee that our products are safe for the customers. So this you can see the standards, food safety certification, and also ISO 2000 is one of the example of the food safety management standard. Also SQF, and next one is information security management system. It is system which determines how our organization should organize it and manage its information security. And starting from a few years, it started to be very important standard in our integration management system. And the milestone of this approach was the online learning, online business, everything was online, and the security of the information started to be important factor. So right now we should say that if you want to be sure that if you want to represent the best standard in the security management system in terms of information, you should implement the ISMS standard also. So it is ISO 27000 Internet Security Management System. Okay, so what are the targets of the management system? So first is when we are talking about the quality management system, the standard, the target is of course the customer. We have to follow with all requirements of all customers. When we are talking about the environmental management system, the targets are stakeholders and the regulators. When we are talking about this health and safety management system, the targets are primary employees, and I already mentioned that it is focused on the employees, and employees as the most important factor of our success of our business, and everything together, everything combined, as you can say, we should consider as target of our business in a management system. So if we are talking about the integrated management system, follow with those three management systems: quality, environmental, and health and safety. We should consider all those targets as our business targets. So it shows that we are thinking about customers, about stakeholders and regulators, and about employees. So it means that we are on good way to achieve success with our business. Okay, but you have to be careful, yes, in an integration. I already mentioned that if you are thinking about multiplying the management system which will be integrated and implemented, you have to be careful because the risk is in ahead. So what are a word of caution of uh, integration management system? Don't follow like I would integrate all systems. Yes, just give me next system and I will integrate it. It is not, sometimes more mean less, so you have to be careful. So what are the words of cautions? So before looking at integrated management, you should consider the management structure and style within which it must be embedded. Yes, because not always the same set of the management systems are good to be implemented in different companies. Yes, and I'm not talking about just the different type of the company or different type of the industry, because it is obvious, yes, that if I've got different industry, food industry, IT industry, automotive industry, we should work on different standards and different management system. I'm also talking about the same type of industry, for example, the automotive industry or the food industry. So we are talking about the same segment of the business, but we are talking, for example, on different location. So different standard, integrated standard will be in German, different will be in Poland, and different will be in Turkey. Yes, so it's all also the location of the business has to be taken into consideration. Why? First of all, because we've got different employees, different work habits. Yes. Second, we've got different environmental issues, different policy. So there are a lot of things which has to be things many times before you will start to implement everything. It is not always the same. Next, you need therefore to assess how efficiently and effectively the organization is currently managed in a general sense. So if your current management system working well, if it is effective and efficiency, you should be very careful with the integration, because it is a little bit risky to put a new subsystem into your system when everything is working well. So think twice, think smart, and try to do it smartly. Yes. Otherwise, if your business is not effectively working right now, first of all, find the reason, and then find which subsystem management system will be helpful with increasing your efficiency of your management system. And there are many factors which affect how it operates. So it is not just about the idea and standards which can be used as the guide for the implementation of the next management system, but there are so many different factors. I already mentioned about location, working habit, about many different factors which has to be taken into consideration, because it doesn't mean that if something is working in one place that it will be also working in my place, it will be good for me. Not always. So always check what are important factors and try to think if it will be good for you before you will make your decision, or if you will force to make the decision to implement the system, you have to do it exactly your way, the best way to your business, not just follow with others' experience, because it is not always the best idea. So consideration for the integrated management process. So first, the extent to which integration should occur. So it is the first decision. Next, the political and cultural situation within the company. It is what I already mentioned on example of working habits or the policy in the company, in the national, including in the national. Yes, the levels of the competence necessary. So if you have the competence which allows you to operate with the system, or you have to fill up with the competence. Yes, you have to train, you have to hire someone. Legal of and other regulation requirements. Sometimes it is obligatory to implement some systems. Sometimes it is forbidden by legal or other regulation to implement subsystems. So always check what are the legal and regulations requirements. And clear objectives for the integration project. So start to think smartly, clear all objectives, and think about the integration as the project, as the business project in your company. Okay, and that's it for today. We will have short break.